This is WordFest 6. Solutions everywhere.
In a world where hope is the beacon that guides humanity through the darkest times, there are forces at play that aim to extinguish this vital light. This is the fight against hope. Legally assisted suicide, often presented as a compassionate choice, is becoming increasingly accepted in various parts of the world.
It's a controversial debate. Assisted dying has divided opinion for years. Assisted dying is the legal right for terminally ill, mentally competent people to choose to end their lives. Different countries have different rules about who can choose to die this way.
In just a few years, Canada has gone from banning euthanasia to being one of the most permissive countries in the world for those seeking it. It's prompted a heated debate about whether the country is making it easier for people to die than get the help they need to live.
It's the same government that's giving out aid that is actually denying people services in a socialized universal healthcare system.
These people are deliberately targeting the vulnerable, encouraging them to die.
I spend hours inside my head just fighting irrational thoughts, self-blame, images and flashes that I don't want to see, that are stored from a lifetime of pain and suffering.
Soon, Canada will offer Mitchell a way out. In March of 2024, people with mental illnesses will be eligible to apply for medical assistance in dying, or MAID, the government's euthanasia program.
When I first heard about it, I got really excited because I've never been able to do it myself. I've lost track of how many times I've tried to end it.
People should be able to get everything they need to live, and that should be the first priority of our government.
In countries like Belgium and the Netherlands, the laws allow euthanasia for not only terminally ill patients but also those suffering from psychological pain. Belgium has extended this to children, sparking global debate. This undermines the value of human life and offers a permanent solution to what could be temporary problems.
More than a decade after Belgium became the second country in the world to legalize euthanasia, it once again made headlines when it became the first country to lift any age restrictions associated with the procedure. Under the new law, terminally ill children can request euthanasia if they're near death and suffering constant and unbearable physical pain with no available treatment. Parents would have to consent, as would 3 separate doctors.
Where is the place of hope and trust in God to heal? Across the globe, policies are being enacted that seem to strip away hope. In many regions, censorship and surveillance stifle free speech and dissent, leading to a culture of fear and resignation. For instance, in North Korea, the government's iron grip on information and severe penalties for dissent leave citizens in a state of constant fear and oppression. More than ever before, laws and policies are being enacted in various countries including China, the United States of America, and others to suppress dissenting voices to government narratives.
I told you about the kleptocratic technocrats. Kleptocracy is the government or rulership or authoritarian organization of thieves who have been brought into positions of authority to control whole communities or nations. And so much has been done through siphon treaties and associations and organizations and fake aid programs.
Food shortages, exacerbated by the deliberate destruction of farms, attacks on farmers, poor governance, and regulations to curb the so-called climate change are leaving millions hungry.
What's the one thing that we all have in common? It's food. We need it, we enjoy it, and it brings us together. But right now, accessing affordable and nutritious food is becoming more and more difficult around the world.
Governments are signing horrible bills into law. Farmers are having difficulties in many countries. Laws and laws and laws prohibiting them from doing their work in the right way.
The current economic situation in the world has disrupted supply chains and labor markets, leading to shortages of food items and price spikes.
2024 food shortage predictions. Inputs for production become pricier, and so do the end products. Yep. This is caused by Europe, the Middle East, all the stuff happening in those areas. The cost of living is going up as well. not to mention droughts and storms, and of course food prices become more expensive. So first listed, wheat, flour, and bread. We've talked about this many times, mostly because of Ukraine, but we also have global famines and droughts causing this. Because of this, the average cost of flour has already gone up 28%. We've certainly talked about rice. There's a worldwide rice shortage, droughts, floods, and extreme weather, partly because the demand for wheat, now people have been going into rice, pushing prices higher. Not to mention, if you didn't know it, India has an export ban on rice as well.
The hope of the average citizen to get daily food supplies is being dashed daily.
Food shortage is about to hit the world in a big way. Now, what is happening is they're buying up large swaths of land, agricultural land. They're buying them up and driving away the farmers. And these large corporations that are buying these large agricultural lands are not intending to do anything with them. No. They want to create a pseudo shortage. So they will buy up these things, frustrate the nations, and it will raise the prices of food commodities. There'll be shortage of food eventually because they drive away the farmers, take over their lands, and you would think they're going to do something. Of course, they will strike deals with governments about what they're going to do, which they will not do. And they don't care how much they spend on these things.
The disparity between the wealthy and the poor is growing, and in many cases, the so-called poverty is artificially orchestrated and maintained.
I told you before, some of you are beginning to discover now.
In countries with vast natural resources, like Nigeria, Myanmar, Venezuela, and others, corrupt practices and mismanagement keep the wealth in the hands of a few while the majority suffer.
In many countries, especially in African and Asian countries, they began to destroy education. Now, what was that about? To flood their nations with people that could not intelligently communicate, that could not intelligently work, and would be part of the unemployed force. So all over Africa today, and in many parts of Asia, you have lots of young people unschooled, uneducated.
What hope is there for a better life for those living below the poverty line? With this barrage of challenges threatening the hope of many in the world, where else can they turn for renewed hope? God's word conveyed through the preaching of the gospel is the answer.
What does the Bible tell us? What are we supposed to be thinking? How can we know these truths? How can we know? And I'm telling you, this is why the devil hates the Bible so much and wants to get rid of the Bible, but they cannot be successful in their attempt, because this is the day of the church.
We are custodians of the gospel of hope, and we are saddled with the responsibility to spread it across the globe. This is why more than ever before we must commit our resources and time to soul winning and the distribution of Rhapsody of Realities all over the world. There is no doubt that the Rhapsody of Realities is an effective evangelical tool ordained by God for the rapid spread of the gospel into every man's world today. Testimonies of the impact of the messenger angel in restoring hope to individuals, families, and nations abound, but more needs to be done. Also, take advantage of the wealth of knowledge contained in offering everyday solutions. Take up the challenge today to win souls like never before and spread the gospel of hope to the world, through the distribution of Rhapsody of Realities in every known language of the world in different formats. Take advantage of the array of messages on the Pastor Chris Digital Library, offering everyday solutions and hope to reach out and win souls into the kingdom. This is a fight to preserve hope, and we are at the forefront.
Thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow for another enlightening documentary. Here are actions to take in publicizing this event and helping others find solutions in God's Word.
Publicize the event and help spread the word. Share your story of how Pastor Chris' teachings have impacted you. Pastor Chris Digital Library, a place of solutions.